When people think of World War II, they think tanks and planes, but some of the most dangerous missions were done on two wheels. These are every motorcycle actually used in World War II. Let's begin with United States. Harley-Davidson WLA, the legendary Liberator. Over 70,000 were built for the Allies. It was rugged and reliable. This machine became the defining symbol of American military transport. Harley-Davidson WLC. This was the version tailored specifically for Canadian Commonwealth forces. It shared the same reliable V-twin engine as the WLA. It featured minor logistical differences suited for the British supply system. Harley-Davidson XA, a rare beast. It was built specifically after the US military requested a machine suitable for desert warfare. It featured a flat twin engine and a shaft drive. This mirrored the successful German BMW design. Only about 1,000 were ever produced. Up next, Harley-Davidson UA, an older, heavier model, adapted for auxiliary military police duties. It was often used for heavy towing tasks. It retained the massive 1,200 cubic centimeter capacity. This made it a powerful, though slower, runner. Up next, Indian 741B, Indian's primary contribution to the lightweight solo effort. It was a 500 cubic centimeter machine. Reliable, yes, but often criticized by the troops for lacking the raw power of the larger Harleys. Indian 640B, this machine was a military version of the famous Indian Scout. Unfortunately, it was developed quite late in the war. It was robust and powerful. It was actually considered superior in performance to the Harley WLA, but quantity was limited. Next, Indian 841, another design responding directly to the German shaft drive concept. The engine was mounted longitudinally. This helped keep the motor cool in hotter climates. It proved highly effective during testing, but production was eventually cancelled due to standardization efforts. Indian 340B 344. These were heavy-duty sidecar combinations. They were often based on the iconic Indian Chief model. They were used extensively by British and Commonwealth forces for reconnaissance and heavy payload hauling. Up next, Cushman Model 53 Airborne Scooter. This was the tiny airborne scooter designed specifically for US paratroopers. Nicknamed the Cushman, it was designed to be dropped by parachute in a crate. Its purpose was high speed, local transportation once ground troops had secured the area. Simplex Servicycle, a simplistic, lightweight motor bicycle. It was used primarily by stateside forces, often for domestic messenger duties or training. It featured a very small, single-cylinder engine designed for minimal complexity. Next up, Germany. BMW R75, perhaps the most famous German military motorcycle. This heavy machine featured a fully differential sidecar drive. This gave it phenomenal off-road capability in mud and snow. It was a high-tech masterpiece of wartime engineering. The next one, BMW R12. This was the standard Wehrmacht heavy motorcycle before the R75. While robust, its lack of differential drive made it less capable off-road than its successor. However, tens of thousands served faithfully throughout the war. BMW R71, a highly influential pre-war design. Although it saw some early war service, its biggest legacy was being licensed, or perhaps reverse-engineered by the Soviets. It formed the direct blueprint for the M-72. BMW R35, a simpler, single-cylinder motorcycle, used mostly for messenger and police duties. It was rugged and easier to maintain than the large Boxer twins. Production of this vehicle continued even after the war under Soviet control. Zundap KS750, the primary rival to the BMW R75. This heavy sidecar combination offered similar features, including a hydraulically damped sidecar wheel and a shaft drive. It was renowned for its immense torque and its rugged durability. Zundap K800, a unique machine featuring a 4-cylinder engine. Although less common than the Boxer twins, its smooth power delivery and high cruising speed made it highly valued. It served especially well for escort and long-distance liaison duties. Now, this is the Zundap KS600, the German military version of Zundap's 600 cubic centimeter civilian sports model. It was fast and reliable. It was often used solo for scouting and command courier tasks early in the war. Zundap K500W, a sturdy 500 cubic centimeter flat twin. This machine predated the KS series. While it lacked the advanced features of later models, its sheer simplicity ensured it remained a frontline workhorse throughout the conflict. Then, Zundap DB200, the smallest motorcycle model supplied by Zundap to the Wehrmacht. This modest 200 cubic centimeter two-stroke was mostly reserved for training and very light communications duties far behind the front line. NSU Kettenkrad. Is it a tractor? Is it a motorcycle? It is the Kettenkrad. This incredible half-track vehicle was designed to be towed or driven by a rider. It was extremely effective in deep mud or snow and capable of hauling heavy loads. NSU 251 OSL, a 250 cubic centimeter overhead valve machine. This was a popular medium-range motorcycle for communication units. It was known for its decent speed and economical fuel consumption compared to the larger twins. Then, NSU 601 OSL, the heaviest of the OSL range. This machine offered good power for both solo high-speed dispatch work and light sidecar mounting. It was one of the most successful German civilian models adapted for military use. DKWNZ 350, one of the most ubiquitous German military bikes, especially on the Eastern Front. It was a rugged two-stroke single-cylinder. It was famed for its easy maintenance, though later versions utilized resource-saving materials. DKWRT 125, the smallest machine offered by DKW. This design was so successful that after the war, its plans were seized. They were used as the basis for motorcycles worldwide, including the Harley Davidson Hummer and the Russian Minsk, Triumph BD 250W, produced by the German branch of Triumph, based in Nuremberg. This lightweight 250 cubic centimeter machine was used by the Wehrmacht for light dispatch riding and communications duties. Let's move on to United Kingdom. BSA M20, the backbone of British dispatch rider forces. Over 126,000 were built. It was slow and heavy, but incredibly simple and forgiving to operate. This made it ideal for inexperienced wartime riders. Now, this is the Norton 16H, a pre-war side valve design that saw massive service, particularly in the early desert campaigns. It was tough and reliable. It was often fitted with sidecars, though its sprung rear wheel was a luxury rarely granted. The next one, Norton Big 4, a massive combination used almost exclusively with a sidecar. It was designed for heavy towing and personnel transport. Crucially, the sidecar wheel on some versions could also be driven. This enhanced traction in poor terrain. The next one, Royal Enfield WWII, nicknamed the Flying Flea. This small 125 cubic centimeter machine was famously deployed by British airborne forces. It could be dropped via parachute in a protective cage, offering immediate mobility upon landing. Royal Enfield WDCO, a medium-weight 350 cubic centimeter overhead valve motorcycle. It was widely used by the British Army and Commonwealth forces across various theatres. This bike was prized for its respectable performance and durability. Matchless G3L. The Matchless G3L was revolutionary for its use of telescopic front forks. This feature provided superior handling compared to the girder forks found on most Allied machines. It quickly became a favourite among dispatch riders. Triumph 3HW, a lightweight 350 cubic centimeter overhead valve machine. It became the standard Triumph military offering after the firm's Coventry factory was bombed in 1940. This bombing forced a major design shift. Aerial WNG, the military version of the Aerial NG civilian model. It was a rugged, reliable 350 cubic centimeter overhead valve design. It was commonly used for dispatch and reconnaissance duties throughout the war. Velocet MAF, a small specialized 350 cubic centimeter machine adapted for military use. Velocet only produced these in modest numbers. However, they were highly regarded for their mechanical precision and efficiency. Excelsior Wellbike, designed purely for airborne operations. This tiny, extremely compact folding motorcycle used a 98 cubic centimetre engine. It was stored in a protective container and issued to British paratroopers. It saw action notably during Operation Market Garden. James ML, developed later in the war to meet the demand for simple, light military motorcycles. The ML stood for Military Lightweight. It shared similar design principles and engine size with the WWII bike, but was a non-folding design. Next on the list is Soviet Union, USSR. M72 was the primary Soviet heavy sidecar motorcycle. It was heavily based on the German BMW R71 design. Thousands were built and served reliably on the Eastern Front, often armed with a mounted machine gun. TIS-AM 600, a robust, medium-capacity Soviet motorcycle produced by the Taganrog factory. It was known for its reliable single-cylinder engine. It saw extensive service as a solo scout and communications vehicle. Next, PMZ A750. This heavy Soviet V-twin motorcycle was an early war design. While powerful, it was complex to manufacture. It proved less reliable in the harsh conditions of the Eastern Front than the later M-72. EZH-9. These two models represent the standard light and medium motorcycle output from the IJ factory. They provided essential dispatch and light personnel transport. Their design was often based on pre-war DKW standards. L300, a simple, pre-war Soviet motorcycle, often referred to as the Red Star. It was a basic 300 cubic centimeter machine used primarily for light liaison and training purposes. Continuing with Japan, Rikuo Type 97, the standard Japanese heavy military motorcycle. It was essentially a licensed and manufactured copy of the pre-war American Harley-Davidson design. It was widely used by the Imperial Japanese Army. Type 93, an earlier Japanese sidecar combination, predating the Rikuo. It was rugged, but often underpowered for demanding jungle and rough terrain operations in the Pacific Theater. Kurogane Type 95, a unique heavy machine featuring a reverse configuration V-twin engine. Most distinctly, it used a three-wheel layout, one wheel in front and two in the rear. It offered good stability but was complex to maintain. Now let's look at Italy. Moto Guzzi Alcer, nicknamed the Elk. This was the primary heavy 500 cubic centimeter motorcycle used by the Italian army throughout the conflict. It was known for its robustness and characteristic transverse single-cylinder engine. Moto Guzzi Trials, a three-wheeled military adaptation of the Alce design. It was essentially a motorized tricycle truck. It was heavily used for transport duties, especially on the difficult terrain of North Africa and the Eastern Front. Benelli 500 VLM, a sturdy Italian 500 cubic centimeter single-cylinder motorcycle. It saw significant service not only with the Italian forces, but also with the Wehrmacht after the Italian armistice in 1943. Galera LTE 500, another core 500 cubic centimeter single used by the Royal Italian Army. The LTE was designed purely for utility and military service. It was prized for its durability and arduous campaigning. Gilera Marte, Gilera's heavy military bike. It featured a boxer twin engine and a shaft drive. This made it Italy's attempt to match the advanced German BMW and Zundap sidecar concepts. Volografo Iamoto 125, a tiny folding paratrooper motorcycle. This was Italy's answer to the British WWII bike. It was small enough to be carried by one soldier and was intended for rapid reconnaissance behind enemy lines. Bianchi Supermill 500, a respected military motorcycle featuring a large single-cylinder engine. Bianchi was a key supplier to the Italian armed forces. It provided reliable transport throughout the North African and Balkan campaigns. Certum 500. Certum was a smaller Italian manufacturer, but their 500 MCM model was accepted for military service. It offered a conventional, robust design used primarily for staff liaison. Moving on to France. Gnome et Rhône AX2, a robust French side valve V-twin. It saw early service with the French army before the collapse in 1940. Many captured units were then quickly utilized by the occupying German forces. Now this is the Gnome et Ron 750XA, a 750 cubic centimeter French military machine that employed a flat twin boxer engine layout. This design choice gave it a lower center of gravity. This improved off-road handling compared to standard V-twins. Terreau HDA, a standard medium-capacity French dispatch motorcycle. Terreau was a major supplier to the French military. It was known for reliable, though technically conservative, designs. Now, this is the Terreau RD, the lighter dispatch model from Terreau. It was a nimble single-cylinder machine used extensively for courier and light scouting duties before the fall of France. Now this is the Peugeot P107. The robust P107 was a popular medium-weight military motorcycle from Peugeot. Like many French machines, it ended its wartime career wearing German camouflage after capture. Then Peugeot P112, Peugeot's contribution to heavy military transport. This was a 500 cubic centimeter twin-cylinder machine. It was capable of handling sidecar attachments for heavier duties and staff transport. René Gillet, Type G1, one of the largest motorcycles adopted by the French army, displacing 750 cubic centimeters. It was primarily deployed as a powerful sidecar combination for reconnaissance and support units. Next on the list is Belgium, FN M12, a heavy Belgian sidecar combination built by FN. It was an extremely robust design, developed initially for colonial duties. It saw limited service during the German invasion of 1940. FN M86, a reliable 350 cubic centimeter single from the major Belgian manufacturer FN. It served as the primary dispatch and courier bike for the Belgian military during the pre-war period. Gillet Herstal 720AB, a 720 cubic centimeter Belgian flat twin machine. Like the FN models, this powerful bike saw intense though short combat service before Belgium fell. Sarolea 38H, the lightweight military option provided by Sarolea, another prominent Belgian motorcycle firm. It was typically used for internal communications and light reconnaissance. Now let's look at Poland, Sokół 1000, the standard heavy Polish military motorcycle before the 1939 invasion. It was a massive 1000 cubic centimeter V-twin. It was renowned for its tough build quality and its ability to operate sidecars. Next, Sokół 600 RT, the medium-capacity Sokół introduced shortly before the war. This bike was agile and served as a quick reconnaissance vehicle during the defense of Poland against German invasion. And our last category is other nations. Monarch Albin M42, Sweden's key military motorcycle, designed specifically for their neutral forces. It was a robust 500 cubic centimeter machine, engineered specifically to handle the severe Scandinavian winters. Condor A580, the standard motorcycle of the Swiss army during the war. It utilized a side-valve boxer engine. It was built with extremely high-quality standards to withstand rugged mountainous deployment. Universal A1000, a large 1000 cubic centimeter machine utilized by the Swiss army. Its powerful boxer engine made it suitable for heavy sidecar hauling and patrol duties on challenging alpine roads. Mere Jap, a motorcycle built in Hungary, often utilizing British JAP engines. The military models were rugged V-twins used primarily by the Hungarian army on the Eastern Front.